Hello everybody and welcome back to the American Dynasty YouTube channel. So in this video, we are going to be taking a very different approach. This is going to be some sort of like a podcast style type of video. I'm not going to be editing my voice within this video because I just think that things need to come out more natural. Just let me know how you guys do feel about this whole podcast type of feeling video. So basically what I do want to talk about in this video is about Pepi, right? Pepi, who is a player that does play for USA. He also plays for Dallas. Pepi has been making a lot of noise lately for both the club and the country. And I know you guys have already seen the title, right? In the YouTube video. It's talking about how USA, what's the most ideal lineup for USA at the moment, or maybe in about 6-7 months from now, right? What should be the ideal USA starting 11? Because there has been so many talks about we should have Pulisic, Gio, and Wea up front, or we should have Pepi, Wea, and Gio up front, or Pulisic and Gio as the front two in a 4-3-1-2 system. Like, there has been so many talks, right? And I want to speak on that because the emergence of Pepi has really changed the conversation on USA's ideal starting 11. Because if we were to go back about a year ago, many of us can easily predict what could be the best possible, strongest starting 11 for USA. But now with the emergence of Pepi, things have changed. Like the conversation is different because now that we have a striker like Pepi, right? Where do we place this player? Like, if we want to put in Pepi within the starting 11 or within the front three, right? Like, assuming that Gregg wants to use a 4-3-3 formation, there is going to have to be like some sacrifices in the starting 11. Like, I just do not see Pepi, Wea, Gio all starting within the same starting 11 without like some sacrifices. Like, some players are going to be out of position if we put Wea, Gio, and Pepi in the starting 11, or some players are going to have to be sacrificed and be placed on the bench. So look, starting with Pepi, right? I'm going to be talking about Pepi, and then I'm going to be talking about the ideal starting 11 for USA. But I want to talk about Pepi because Pepi this year in 2021, he has been phenomenal. Regardless of what people have been saying, when they say like, no, there's some other great youngsters that have been playing in the MLS, that's from USA, right? Pepi doesn't deserve it. I think that players like Caden Clark deserves it. Like, there's been other conversations, but I think that Pepi, he is the one. Some people have been talking about Tajon, right? Tajon, like, what is Tajon has not even come close to Pepi. Not close. I think that Pepi is the clear winner because of the numbers that he has put out, the goals, the assists, his age, the fact that he is in a team like Dallas, right? Dallas is not even that great of a team. If you were to compare this Dallas to the other clubs in the MLS team, and the fact that Pepi has scored and brought assists in a team like Dallas, you have to appreciate that. You have to applaud that. So, look, Pepi in 2021 with Dallas, he has scored 13 goals and provided 3 assists. Phenomenal. That is great. For USA, he has scored 3 goals and provided 1 assist. Again, that is phenomenal. That is great. He has been more efficient for USA than he has for Dallas, which is okay because I think that when Pepi scores for USA and he brings those assists for USA, you can see his enthusiasm. You can see that he really wants to bring results for the U.S. men's national team. Like, he has so much passion for that, for the country. And so in total, he has scored 16 goals and provided 4 assists for both club and country. Again, he has been known for bringing in 13 goals and 3 assists for Dallas, which makes him the best young player for MLS in 2021, which I do think that it is fully deserved. And I'm going to continue to say this, right? Because Pepi has not stopped making noise since like last year. He has also been considered as the youngest scorer to score a hat trick in the MLS history, right? No other player has done that. Pepi has been breaking records left and right, and ever since he has had this breakout season in 2021, there has been clubs that have been eyeing this player. There has been clubs like Ajax, Wolfsburg, Borussia Dortmund. These are 3 clubs who are like they're well known for always trying to birth and develop young stars, make these young stars into great stars, make them world class. Ajax has a great resume on that. Borussia Dortmund has a great resume on that. I do not think that Wolfsburg have a great resume when it comes to developing players, so I'm going to lean towards Ajax and Dortmund. I think that these are two clubs that would be perfect for a player like Pepi, and especially when he's only 18 years old. And then there has been other talks and reports and rumors about Manchester United and Liverpool, two clubs who we know are very big clubs out there in Europe. But I think that when it comes to United and Liverpool, they're only going to be clubs that are going to be like, they're going to want Pepi, right? For one thing, which is to transfer him in to Liverpool or United and then loan that player out to a smaller club. That is basically going to be their game plan, because that is what United and Liverpool like to do. They like to grab these emerging stars from either Brazil, Argentina, USA, wherever it may be, bring those players in and then loan them out and have them develop. That is basically, again, what they like to do, which is why I say I think that a team like Ajax and Dortmund would be perfect, because I know that Ajax and Dortmund, they're going to want to use a player like Pepi and not loan him out to a different club. Ajax and Dortmund are going to bring them in for a specific reason. So I think that should be it. I think that Pepi should be going to a team like Ajax or Dortmund. It is like inevitable for Pepi to go to a European club. Like I just do not see Pepi staying at the MLS next year in 2022. I do see Pepi going to a European club. It's going to happen. That move will happen, and it's going to be very important for Pepi's future and his development. And I cannot wait to see that, because I think that Pepi right now, he needs to have some sort of European experience, right? He needs to know what it's like to actually play in the highest level of football. Because look, the World Cup is going to be like it's coming around in about 11 months, I believe. We're in November, so in exactly 12 months. And by that time, we're going to be needing like Pepi to have some sort of European experience, because you're not going to be playing MLS level type of players in the World Cup. You're going to be playing against potentially Portugal or Argentina or Germany or Spain or France or Italy, and you need that competitive edge. And so it's going to be important. And I want to see Pepi in Ajax or Borussia Dortmund. Please, whoever is in charge of that, whoever's the agent of Pepi, this does need to happen. But besides that, right, I want to congratulate Pepi for what he has done in this year. But besides that, now I want to head towards the next phase. What about the ideal starting 11 for USA, right? Because now that we have the emergence of Pepi, where do we place him? And if we want to bring him to the squad list, is he going to be starting? Is he good enough to start? Do we prefer other players over Pepi? Because I have two different starting 11s that I do think could happen in the near future, maybe in about 7-8 months, when we finally start to see Gregg Berhalter emerge his ideal starting 11. Because as we get closer and closer to the World Cup, we're going to need to continue to try out the ideal starting 11, right? We need to continue to put our best players on the field, because we need to have these players get used to playing with each other on the field. It's going to be very important. We need to be ready for the World Cup. So I have two different starting 11s, and I'm going to be starting with the predicted starting 11, number 1. And that is going to be in a 4-3-3 formation. And I'm going to be having the defensive line being this: Scully as the right back, Chris Richards as the center back, Brooks as another center back, and Serginho Dest as the left back. Now, I know that there's going to be like conversations about Chris Richards or Brooks, right? Many are going to be saying, but what about Zimmerman? Zimmerman has been playing so good. I think that Zimmerman has been playing amazing. I think that in this past camp, the way that we played against Mexico and Jamaica, Zimmerman played amazing. I applaud Zimmerman. I am a big fan of Zimmerman. I want to congratulate him, right? Because many people did not expect Zimmerman to come out like this in this fashion. But I think when it comes to comparing Zimmerman and Richards, I think that Richards has better ball output, and that is why I want to put Richards in. Brooks, on the other hand, he does bring the physicality compared to Chris Richards. I think that if you put Zimmerman and Brooks right next to each other, you're getting the exact same thing, which is the physicality. You're not getting that much of a great ball output, like bringing in those passes that you want to put into the midfield or into the final third. I think that Chris Richards does very well at doing that. So I'm going to be placing Chris Richards right next to Brooks. As for the defensive line, As for the midfield, right, I want to. This is where things get very tricky. This is where the Pepi factor does come in. So, as we can see here, we can see that the midfield is Gio Reyna, McKennie, and Tyler Adams. Many are going to be saying, what about Yunus Musa? Yunus Musa was showing so much promise. He is someone that knows how to progress the ball forward. He's very good at trying to contribute with the attack, which is true. I think that Yunus Musa is someone that's very important for Gregg Berhalter's USA team. But here's the thing. We could put Gio Reyna on the right wing and then place Yunus Musa in the midfield and create that MMA that everyone does know. But the one player that does seem very irreplaceable right now and untouchable, it is Wea. Like, Wea has been playing amazing as a right winger. In this previous camp, Wea, the way that he was playing, he is and will be considered as one of the most dangerous players for USA in the future if he continues to go in this route. And I want to see Wea continue to develop as a player in this USA team, because he just brings something so different, like the way that he stretches the defensive line to making those amazing crosses, those powerful crosses. Like, you can see that he puts all of his power in those crosses, very accurate crosses into the box. That is almost irreplaceable. You do not find that with Gio Reyna playing as a right winger. You do not find that with Conrad de la Fuente playing as a right winger. You only find that with Wea. And so I want to see Wea in the front three. So that, again, this is where things get very complicated, because someone might say, okay, if you want Wea, so if many of us want Wea so bad, why can't we just play Wea as the striker? But that is where the conversation does come in, right? Because we want to see Pepi in the front three also. And so if we want to put Wea in as the striker, Pepi is going to have to come out for sure, because there's no way we're going to be putting Pepi as a right winger or as a left winger. And then we're going to have to put Gio as the right winger, and then having Yunus Musa as the central midfielder, right? So that could be the most possible way of placing Gio, Wea, and who else? Gio, Wea, and Yunus Musa within the same starting 11 without Pepi. But again, many of us want to see Pepi as the striker. So it's either you have Yunus Musa or Ricardo Pepi. That's basically your options. It's all about what you want coming from that midfield, because if you want a ball carrier, right? If you want a ball carrier, someone who can carry the ball forward and bring that extra man towards your front three, put Yunus Musa in, put Wea as a right winger, and put Pepi as a striker. If you want a midfielder within the midfield that can create, that can find those passing lanes, that can be that creator for both Wea, Pepi, and Christian Pulisic, you bring Gio Reyna in. I think that Yunus Musa is much better as a ball carrier compared to Gio Reyna. Gio Reyna is a better creator compared to Yunus Musa. Those are two completely different things. So it's all really going to come down to, what do you want within the midfield? What are you missing? In my opinion, I think that when it comes to carrying the ball forward, no one does it better than Yunus Musa. But McKennie can also do that. McKennie can actually do that ball carrying stuff like what Yunus Musa does bring in the midfield. He can do that. So when it comes to what are the things that we are missing, if we put Yunus Musa, McKennie, and Tyler Adams in the midfield, the one thing that we're going to be missing is that creative force. So let's put Yunus Musa out, sit him on the bench, put Gio Reyna in. Now you're having best of both worlds. You're having that creative reinforcement, which is coming from Gio Reyna. We know that Gio, on his A game, he will be one of the best midfielders in the world if he's placed in that position. And then you have McKennie playing as the ball carrier, someone who can carry the ball forward, because we know what McKennie can do. And then you have Tyler Adams as that defensive reinforcement. He is untouchable. He is not going to be moving anywhere. And so I think that is going to be the ideal starting 11. It should be that ideal starting 11, having Gio, McKennie, Adams in the midfield, Wea on the right wing, and then Pepi as the striker. Now look, again, it's just like, if you want to just see, like, if you do not care about Pepi and you think that Pepi is not ready, and that, you know, if you think Pepi is too young, then by all means, go ahead and put Gio on the right wing, Musa within the midfield, and have Wea play as a striker. Like, that could also really, really work. Like, it's just, I feel like you're limiting Gio Reyna's, like, ability to be the best that he could be. That's my biggest concern. That's basically my conclusion of this, is that if you put Gio on the right wing, of course he's going to be doing well. We know what he can do on the right wing, but if you put him in the midfield, you're having a completely different monster. And I just do not want to eliminate a player like Gio Reyna, because if you were to ask me who is the most talented player in this pool of American players, who is the one that can be the best player in about 10 years time, it is Gio Reyna. Like, I don't know if you guys are forgetting about this whole thing and what Gio Reyna can actually provide. Like, I get that he hasn't been here for about 2 or 3 months because of injury, but if you were to ask me who is the most talented and who can actually reach to be like one of the best players in the world, that is Gio Reyna. Gio Reyna is a creator. Gio Reyna is someone he is very technical. He is someone that can bring everything. He can bring goals. He can be the creator. He can also defend very well. His physicality is something that is not talked about enough. Like, he is tall and he knows how to run quick. So that is very scary. And I think that if we want to get the best out of Gio, you put him in the midfield. You put him in the midfield because that is his main position. Could he play as a false nine? No, I do not think so. I think that he should be playing as a attacking midfielder with McKennie alongside with him and Tyler Adams in the midfield. That is basically what I do think. And I think that for me, that's just going to be my ideal starting 11. Scully on the right back, Chris Richards, Brooks, Sergio Dest as the left back. And then as for the midfield, Gio, McKennie, Adams, because you're getting the best of both worlds. Wea as the right winger, Pepi as the striker, and Pulisic on the left wing. When it comes to Pulisic, you're going to be getting the goals. You're going to be getting the experience. When it comes to Pepi, you're going to be getting that extra goal edge from compared to the opposition, right? We're going to be having the goals coming from Pepi and Pulisic. You're going to be having those balls being fed coming from Wea, because Wea is someone who knows how to create too. Like, he knows exactly how to input and maximize those crosses. I like that chemistry that's going on between Wea and Pepi. It's really working out well, and I want to see that. And I want to see Gio, McKennie, and Adams be the players that they could be. Give them the creative reinforcement, and I think that USA can really go far in the World Cup of 2022 next year if you have a midfield like this. It's very important, my friends. And I think that we need to start getting used to having a very strong bench. Like, just because I'm putting out Yunus Musa away from this starting 11, it doesn't mean that Musa is never going to be playing for USA. Like, I think that Musa should be on the bench. And then come in maybe in about the 50th minute, 60th minute, come in for Gio Reyna, maybe McKennie, Adams, whoever you want it to be. Maybe you could put Musa on the right wing and take Wea out. There you go. We could do that. And so there's so many choices, so many things that we can do. This is a good problem to have. It's not like we're having a bad problem here. Like, this is amazing. The fact that USA has this many amount of players, we're gifted right now. We're going through a golden generation. And then as for the defensive line, which I did not talk about enough because it's very black and white, I think that Dest is a great left back. He is someone who can just cut in, be creative with Pulisic, something that we have yet to see, right? Imagine Dest and Pulisic on the left flank. And then Scully, right? Scully is someone who has really shown with Mönchengladbach that he is a great right back. He is someone who can bring the assist. He can bring the goals. He is someone who is very defensively oriented, defensively disciplined. And I want to see that in USA. I think that with this starting 11 in the World Cup of 2022, we can do so much. We can really be one of the best teams in the world. In about 6 to 7 years' time, by the time the 2026 World Cup comes around, we could be one of the best national teams in the world. As for the 2022 World Cup, I think that we can make a very big surprise in that World Cup. We could be that dark horse. Again, it's really going to be depending on how these players do evolve. I want to see Wea continue to be the Wea that we have been seeing in the past 2 or 3 months. I want to see Pulisic being fit. I want to see Pepi make that move next year in 2022 and play for Dortmund or Ajax. I want to see Gio being that creative reinforcement. I want to see McKennie be that ball carrier that he is, being that player that can arrive on the other side of the field. Tyler Adams being the player that he is. I want to see Dest being that attacking presence. Scully being that defensive presence. Chris Richards growing as a center back, and Brooks being Brooks, right? Like, it's just this. There's really nothing more I could say. That is basically the starting 11 I want to see, and I think that many of us could agree is the best ideal starting 11 that USA could put. So that is going to be basically wrapping up today's American Dynasty YouTube video. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, this is a podcast type of video. I understand that maybe you're not getting that flashy, fast type of video, but let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.